believe what you believe. Number two, it's embarrassing this has to be on the list, courageous leadership. Courageous leaders are the ones who are willing to sacrifice the short term in order to advance the long term. Courageous leaders are the ones who are willing to say no to the money because it's coming from a dirty source, and rather say yes, even though they know they'll have to tighten the belt in the short term because it's the right thing to do. Having a just cause, if we don't actually follow the just cause, if we don't actually make decisions through the lens of the just cause, is just marketing. It's just marketing. I'll give you my favorite example, right? The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, they have a mission statement, what they believe is their just cause, which is to advance the world, make the world a better place through sport. But for the fact that they're all corrupt, it's a great idea. My point is you actually have to have leadership that desperately, profoundly believes in the cause and will make decisions to advance that cause. They would sooner sacrifice their own personal interests to take care of their people. They would never sacrifice their people to protect their own interests. It's called leadership. It's called leadership. We confuse rank and leadership. Rank has nothing to do with leadership. I know many people who sit at the highest levels of organizations who are not leaders. They have authority, and we do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we would not follow them. And yet I know many people who sit at lower ranks who have no authority, and yet they have made a choice, the choice to look after the person to the left of them, and the choice to look after the person to the right of them, and we would trust them and follow them anywhere. Leadership is the acceptance of the awesome responsibility to create an environment in which people can work at their natural best. The senior-most people in an organization are not responsible for the results. They are just not, right? It's like talking to hospital administrators, and I say, what's your priority? And they say, my patients. Really? You're not a doctor, and if you are, you haven't talked to a patient in 20 years. Wrong. The responsibility of the senior people in a hospital is to take care of the staff, the doctors, and the nurses. And when they feel taken care of, they will in turn take care of the patients. The responsibility of everyone in this room is to take care of the people who work in the organization, and if they feel that someone has their back, they will commit all of their excess energy and time to take care of the students and each other. If they do not feel that their backs are protected, that someone has their interests in mind, that the organization itself is trying to help them advance as human beings, then they will do exactly what the culture provides them to do, which is they will protect themselves from you. Which then goes to the next point of trusting teams. A trusting team is an environment in which people feel safe to raise their hand and say, I made a mistake. I don't feel qualified to do the job you've asked me to do, and I need more training. I need help. I'm struggling at home, and it's affecting my work. I'm scared, without any fear of humiliation or retribution or punishment whatsoever. If you do not have trusting teams inside your organization, what you do have is a group of people who show up to work every single day lying, hiding, and faking. You're forcing them to. It's not their fault. You're creating an environment in which people will not share mistakes for fear that it puts them on some sort of short list or just getting in trouble. They will not admit that they don't feel qualified for the jobs that they have for fear of being outcasts or, again, put on some sort of short list or getting in trouble. Which means eventually these things will compound and eventually something will break. We've seen the results. Look what happened with United Airlines. We all saw the film of this poor paying passenger being dragged off the plane with a broken nose, broken teeth, and a concussion, right? And I feel for that crew. I do not blame the crew, because they work in a culture in which they fear making the right decision. They actually fear that they will get in they believe they will get in trouble for making the right decision. They actually fear getting in trouble more than doing the right thing. This was not an anomaly. This has been compounding over years. I had a personal experience on that airline years prior that was a red flag. I was attempting to board a plane, and one of the passengers, this played out in front of me, one of the passengers attempted to board the plane before their group number was called, which, as all of you know here, is a felony. And that is exactly how the gate agent treated him. Step aside, sir. I haven't called your group yet. Please step aside and wait till I call your group, is how she talked to a paying customer. So I spoke up. I said, why do you have to talk to us that way? Why can't you talk to us like we're human beings? And she looked me in the eye and said, sir, if I don't follow the rules, I could get in trouble or lose my job. What she revealed to me is that she does not feel safe in her own organization, and her leaders do not trust her to use her own judgment, and they do not trust her to do the job for which she's been trained to do. And guess who suffers? Customer and company. The reason we love flying Southwest Airlines is not because they have some magical formula to hire the best people. It's because the people there feel safe in their own organization. They're entrusted to use their own judgment and do the jobs for which they've been trained to do. If you have an excess of bureaucracy in your organization, and I have worked in the university system, and I feel for the people who abuse me when I go get my ID, because they fear getting in trouble more than using judgment. That is a cultural problem. I do not blame the person. Human beings are social animals, and we respond to the environments we're in, and ultimately, it is the leadership that is responsible for setting the environment. Get the environment right, you get trusting teams. Get the environment wrong, you are forcing people to protect themselves from you. If you work in an organization where it is standard practice for people to feel the need to send a CYA email after every decision they make, cover your ass, that is a sign that they feel that they have to take time and energy out of their day away from doing their jobs in order to protect themselves from you. If you work in an organization where it is standard practice for people to feel the need that they have to keep a folder of all the good things they've ever done, just in case they need it, it is a sign that they feel that they have to take time and energy away from advancing the just cause in order to protect themselves from the organization. That's what you get. If they feel safe, all of their energy goes to advancing the just cause.